The Browns are struggling, and so what is their biggest problem right now at 2-4? Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham Jr., or Freddie Kitchens?
All right, America, you ready for this? Y'all already knew what it was.
Oh, wow.
Baker Mayfield, man. Since the Cleveland Browns have returned to Cleveland, what was that, 20 years? He has more interceptions than all of the quarterbacks that have been on that roster. There's 30 of them. And that includes Johnny Manziel, y'all. Think about the turnovers that he's committing, and what's the number one statistic in terms of telling you who's going to win or lose a game? The turnover differential. So that's what he's doing right now. I met Baker Mayfield 2 years ago with a camera crew, and I was like, oh, he's number one overall pick. He's the Heisman Trophy winner. Of course he's going to document every experience. This summer, based off every time I watch a commercial, he's in it. I know he had a lot of time to do those things. And I understand if he were in a different system, maybe he'd be a different quarterback and he didn't have a young, inexperienced coach. But damn, it all falls on you when you're the quarterback, especially when you talk like you talk and so far walking like you're walking.
Y'all want me to go?
Yeah.
I'll go next. There you go. You want to see that? Get a close-up of that there, right there. Boy. You want to go get a little close-up of that there? That's Freddie Kitchens, man. And the reason why it's the coach is because it is a lack of development. And I look at guys like Pat Riley and guys that have been able to coach the big personalities with Phil Jackson with a ton of talent. Sometimes it's not really about doing anything else other than managing the personalities and the talent that is on your team. If you can have success doing that, you can win. We're not seeing that take place here. It's hurting the development. As a matter of fact, it's arrested development for the quarterback, for Mayfield. And then you look at Odell and you look at Jarvis, they're disappearing. You're not finding the best and helping them bring the best out of themselves. You're actually perpetuating whatever it is that they have personally. I'm Odell Beckham. That's what it represents, and it stops there. I'm Jarvis Landry. It stops there, so on and so forth. And I think that that's a symptom of a lack of credible leadership.
Freddie Kitchens, it's his problem. I don't even think OBJ should be on the list, to be honest with you.
You haven't seen my list. Go ahead.
I know that. When you just look at Baker Mayfield is turnover prone. You know that now. That's obvious. Run the ball more. The last few games, Nick Chubb is averaging 5 yards. Why aren't you running the ball more? Put Baker in situations where the reads are really defined. You can't force the ball. You're calling plays, number one, that if he's not comfortable with, those are the plays he's probably having trouble with in practice. Don't run those plays. Put him in better situations. Put him in advantageous situations that he can have success. He's not doing that. The balls he threw to Odell yesterday, some of them catches he were making, unreal. Some of those could have been interceptions. Odell saved him. This is Freddie Kitchens. Get a better game plan, a lot more easier to understand. Simplify it. Run the ball more. Run the ball.
I'm going to surprise no one and say Odell Beckham Jr., and I'm going to just say this. I think that the blame really spreads out real equally. 33% on Baker Mayfield, 33% on Freddie Kitchens, 33.
I'd probably go 70, 20, 10.
But, again, when you go 33 times 3, that's 99. That leaves 1% more. Odell Beckham Jr., 34% of the blame. He's new to the Cleveland situation. We saw what Cleveland was at the end of last year without OBJ. They didn't need OBJ.
Different head coach.
That's true. But they didn't need a second wide receiver, a second number one wide receiver who makes Jarvis Landry a number two. They didn't need the extra attention, the extra drama, the extra circus that OBJ and all the Super Bowl expectations. If you just leave OBJ out of this and just try to build off of what you did last year, I think Baker's under less pressure. I think the head coach is under less pressure. I think there is no one saying, well, we got to get OBJ the ball. Instead of, we got to win this game regardless of how we do it.
But he was turning the ball. Baker was turning the ball over last year without OBJ. He was turnover prone last year.
And I think they're also still in the same situation, Whit. I really do. I think if you look at this team and what they were able to accomplish or what they're thinking about with a Baker Mayfield and having Jarvis Landry there, the whole reason why they went so cold so quickly with you was based upon them thinking that this is a super, super talented, competitive team that they put together. They were going to deal with those type of expectations regardless. And I think if they weren't, they might have gone out and got a different coach as opposed to promoting internally.
I don't want my young quarterback who's still, what did he have, 10 starts last year? I can't remember, because didn't they start Tyrod Taylor early on?
Yeah, early on.
And so I don't want my young quarterback dealing with OBJ and Jarvis Landry. And that's not even calling, because I don't even consider Jarvis Landry a problem. But I don't want my young quarterback under that kind of pressure that there's one guy over here that if we're not making happy, and there have been signs all year that they're trying to make OBJ happy. When Freddie Kitchens started complaining because someone allegedly strangled OBJ on the field, that's all BS.
But that goes back to the coach.
No, it doesn't go. One, this team hasn't won a game at home. And if you talk about not coming out prepared, you could try and put that on Freddie Kitchens. But they are running the ball. Nick Chubb is top 5 in rushing this year. What he has, he's 600 yards after 6 games. He's on pace for 1,600 yards. Okay, you're giving him the rock. Maybe you could give it to him more. He needs to be a 2,000-yard rusher to take the pressure off of Baker Mayfield. But all of this is just to take the pressure off of Baker Mayfield. And I thought Baker Mayfield not arrived, but certainly was more developed than what we're seeing in terms of turnovers. More turnovers since his first start last year than Jameis Winston. We already know.
Everybody, right.
We already know what Jameis going to do.
And he threw 5 yesterday.
And he threw 5 yesterday. So the point of it is, I think it really comes down to who's the distributor? Who's the one that's distributing the emotions? Who's the leader of the emotions of this team? It was supposed to be Baker Mayfield.
Whether the coach.
It's
the coach.
Once OBJ shows up, how can it be Baker?
It gets hijacked in some respects.
That's not fair.
That's why you have to have a leader. You have to have a leadership quality where you're balancing things.
Odell shouldn't have to take the blame for
because he's going to get that wherever he goes.
Because he has a personality.
Right.
The blame gets thrown on him. That shouldn't be the case.
He can't throw the ball and catch it.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.